The Hindu Kush was a graveyard of empires. Beneath the cold moonlight, jagged ridges stretched like the bones of some ancient beast, casting long black shadows across valleys where countless soldiers had fallen. High on one such ridge, Chief Warrant Officer Evelyn Reed lay prone in the shale, her cheek pressed to the worn stock of an M210 sniper rifle. The weapon was scarred, the metal dulled from years of combat, but in her hands it became an extension of her will. Her mission was simple: erase an insurgent commander who had orchestrated months of bloodshed. The man was in the compound 2 kilometers away, guarded by rooftop sentries and hidden snipers, confident that the mountains made him untouchable. Tonight, Reed would prove him wrong. Her spotter, a young ranger sergeant, shifted uneasily beside her. His breath misted in the cold night. "Ma'am," he whispered, voice tight with nerves. "At this range? With these winds? It's impossible." Reed said nothing. She plucked a blade of frozen grass from the ground, held it aloft, and let it fall. Her eyes tracked its dance, watching how the gusts carried it, how it hesitated, how it dropped. To him, it was just a blade of grass. To her, it was a sentence in a language she had spent decades learning. She inhaled once, slow and steady, then settled deeper behind the rifle. Below, headlights cut across the valley as a truck rolled into the compound. Men clustered in the courtyard. The target appeared, gesturing with authority as he spoke to his lieutenants. Time was running out. No air support, no reinforcements. Just her. For 90 long seconds, Reed was still as stone. Then, with the calm of a predator, she fired. Not once. 7 times. The rifle thundered, each shot breaking like a drumbeat. A second later came the echoes, metallic clangs rolling back across the valley as steel and flesh alike fell. The commander collapsed mid-sentence. His rooftop guards tumbled like broken dolls. The driver slumped over his wheel. A hidden sniper fell from his perch. The comms antenna snapped, sparks showering. A cache of explosives ignited in a bloom of red smoke. 7 shots. 7 kills. Less than 3 seconds. The ranger's jaw dropped. Jesus Christ! Reed only exhaled, ejected the mag, and melted back into the mountain. By dawn, whispers had spread from firebase to firebase. They carried no name, only a title: the Ghost of Coronado. The sun scorched the Coronado firing range, the sand shimmering with heat. A dozen SEAL candidates stood in a loose circle, muscled, young, and arrogant. Their laughter echoed as one of them shoved a heavy spotter's scope toward Evelyn Reed. "Here, Grandma," the candidate sneered. "Try not to drop it." Reed, hair streaked with gray, uniform plain and a little too big, accepted the scope without a word. Her movements were precise, efficient, betraying none of the mockery aimed her way. To them, she was just a clerk, someone who signed ammo logs. But Gunnery Sergeant Miller, standing apart with his arms folded, saw the truth. The way she planted her boots, the way her fingers adjusted the focus with unconscious familiarity. He'd seen it before, in firefights across 3 decades of war. She wasn't just an admin, she was a shooter. Lieutenant Commander Thorne, tall, broad, his confidence radiating like heat, raised his voice. "Listen up," he barked, gesturing at the simulated village downrange. "This is the ghost scenario, the capstone. Most of you will fail." He let the words hang, then added with a smirk toward Reed, And this isn't something you learn from a desk job, ma'am. This takes talent." The candidates laughed again. Reed remained expressionless. One by one, they attempted the drill. One by one, they failed. The wind tore their shots off course. The targets remained standing. Excuses flew. Bad gear, impossible gusts. But the truth was plain. None of them could conquer the scenario. Miller's voice boomed from the tower. "Time! Exercise failed." The range fell silent. The base commander descended the steps. A full bird, colonel with eyes like ice. He ignored Thorne's bluster, walked past the humiliated candidates, and stopped in front of Reed. "Chief," he said quietly, "feel like showing these boys how the old guard gets it done?" Reed gave a single nod. Thorne smirked, certain she'd fall on her face. The candidates chuckled. Miller only exhaled slowly, bracing himself. They had no idea who they were about. To witness. Reed walked past the line of carbon fiber sniper rifles, their sleek barrels gleaming in the sun, and knelt beside an old Pelican case. She flipped the latches. Inside lay a relic, the scarred M210. The young SEALs exchanged amused glances. "Is she serious?" one muttered. She was. With calm, practiced efficiency, Reed assembled the rifle. Every click of metal was deliberate, smooth, inevitable. She plucked a single blade of grass, let it fall, and studied the way it danced in the hot wind. Then she lay behind the rifle, silent, waiting, listening. Thorne crossed his arms. "Anytime, Chief." His smirk widened, but Miller felt his chest tighten. He knew. He'd seen this before. For nearly a minute, Reed didn't fire. Then, in one breath, she squeezed the trigger 7 times. The shots ripped the air like tearing canvas. A second later, clang, 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 clang. The impossible unfolded. The HVT fell. Guards collapsed. A driver slumped. A hidden sniper dropped. An antenna shattered. An explosive charge bloomed red. All 7 targets neutralized in less than 3 seconds. The range froze in silence. Thorne's jaw slackened. "No," he whispered. "That's not possible." The colonel stepped forward. "Ensign," he ordered. "Pull up Chief Warrant Officer Reed's file." The young officer's hands trembled as he read. Name, Evelyn Reed. Rank, Chief Warrant Officer 5. Unit, classified. 17 combat deployments. Over 4,000 combat hours. Special Operations Target Interdiction. DevGRU, Naval Special Warfare Development Group. Awards, Silver Star. 2 Bronze Stars with Valor. Distinguished Service Cross. Note, holds. Standing record for longest confirmed kinetic strike in combat. The weight of her legend crushed the laughter out of the air. The colonel's eyes cut to Thorne. "Lieutenant, the reason you failed this course is because Chief Reed designed it. She chose this time of year, this firing point, this wind. She wrote the book you think you're reading." He saluted Reed, slow and deliberate. Miller snapped to attention and followed. One by one, the humbled SEALs raised their hands. They weren't saluting a clerk. They were saluting a ghost. That night, the story spread through the barracks like wildfire. By morning, a new phrase entered the special warfare lexicon. "Don't get Reed." It meant don't underestimate, don't assume, don't let arrogance blind you. Thorne bore the humiliation in silence. But before dawn, he stood outside Reed's office, waiting. When she emerged, he snapped to attention. No swagger, no excuses. "Chief," he said firmly, "I was wrong. I disrespected you. I ask, your forgiveness and your mentorship." Reed studied him, her face unreadable. Then she gave a single nod. "Range, 0500. Be ready to listen to the wind." So began his education. Reed drilled him mercilessly, not in marksmanship alone, but in patience, humility, discipline. She taught him to feel the shift of air on his skin, to read the story in a ripple of dust, to wait, not for perfect conditions, but for the hidden rhythm only a master could hear. Every failure, every missed shot was a lesson. Pride died in him, replaced by something stronger: respect. 6 months later, Thorne's team was pinned in a hostile valley overseas. The wind howled unpredictably, their digital meters useless. An enemy sniper had them trapped, every movement answered by a crack of lethal fire. Fear threatened to swallow the men whole. Thorne steadied his breathing. He remembered Reed's voice. "Be still. Watch the world. The wind will tell you when." Through the chaos, he saw it. The fleeting lull. The whisper of calm. He fired once. The enemy sniper dropped. His team was saved. His after-action report was short. Successful shot due to unconventional wind-reading techniques learned from CW5 Reed. Her legacy was no longer just a story. It was saving lives. Years passed. Thorne, now captain, stood before a new class of SEAL candidates. His hair was touched with gray, his posture quieter, stronger. He pointed to the shadow box on the wall. 7 gleaming casings, mounted in the weights pattern Reed had once struck. Beneath them, a plaque. The Reed Drill. Competence is silent. Respect is earned. He told the story, not sparing his own arrogance, not hiding his humiliation. He spoke of Reed with reverence, her lessons immortalized in doctrine. "The most dangerous warrior," he told them, "isn't the loudest voice in the room. It's the one you underestimate, the quiet professional, the ghost you don't see until it's too late." Evelyn Reed had long retired. Her rifle stood in a glass case, a silent monument. But her legacy lived on in every sniper who faced the Reed Drill, in every operator who remembered to wait, to watch, to listen to the wind. Legends are not carved by boasts. They are etched in the silence before the perfect shot.